name is Kate Brown. This is my technology partner, Prakar Kapoor. And I just wanted to start by asking, does anybody here live in a house with a lawn, by show of hands? And okay, and for those of you who don't, I'd like you to imagine for the next 5 minutes that you do. Try to put yourselves in the shoes of someone who might have a child or a pet. And I'm going to discuss why that's important and the problems that you might be facing. So currently we do have a trash problem issue globally. I mean, when we're canoeing through trash, I think that's an issue. So we have nowhere to put it, and when we do have somewhere, it's a landfill. It doesn't break down easily. We do use too many synthetic chemicals in our lawn fertilizers, our garden fertilizers. They leach into nearby streams, rivers. They go to the ocean. They could spread globally. So really, not just the people who have lawns are affected, but globally, everybody is indirectly or directly affected. Here's just one example I thought was kind of ironic, that we're not allowed into the cornfields, which are being used with synthetic chemicals, yet they're selling us that food. So we actually, in the U.S. alone annually, just on lawns, we use about 90 million pounds of fertilizer and 78 million pounds of pesticide. Some of the symptoms from exposure are headache, dizziness. They can even lead to cancer or death depending on the level of exposure and how long you've been exposed. When I was speaking to people who have lawns and children, they're very concerned about this, especially those who weren't aware of the level and the symptoms of exposure. So they became very concerned and were interested in the product. So 2 examples I found among thousands that there are were 50 school children in Ohio were hospitalized when a nearby application of herbicide was applied, and it wasn't even on their school. They ended up being okay, thankfully, but I mean, that's just one situation. Also, dog bladder cancers have been linked to treated lawns. Not just on the lawns that they live in, but it also comes from neighbors' lawns. So the opportunity I researched were single-family houses in the U.S., which were about 76 million. Of those, about 60 million have lawns. Those with kids or pets, I estimated to be at least 30 million. Those who care about the planet, I'm assuming, are those with kids because they want to have, a planet for their children to live on, their grandchildren. So that's about 22 million. If you take a conservative estimate of that, around 10%, that's 2,250,000 households that are potential buyers of the product. So my solution, this is my beautiful artwork here because I'm working on getting a design, is the automatic indoor compost and fertilizer maker. So for those of you who are not sure what this is, basically you can insert produce, paper, eggs, and what differentiates my product would be that you can also break down meat, oils, breads, and other products which are not normally compostable. From there, it would come out as compost you can use directly on lawns or gardens, or it can be used to make compost tea, which is a more concentrated liquid fertilizer. So this would take the place of synthetic chemicals that are currently being used. These are the resources I estimated that would be necessary, and in the red boxes, you'll see those, and in the black boxes, I got a rough estimate of what that would cost. And on the red arrow, you'll see a timeline. So, starting right now, I'm working on team building. I currently have myself. I have a background in biology and business. I'm looking to find a scientist who is more directly associated with enzymes and biochemistry, because I want to develop an enzyme mix which will help break down the products faster. Also an engineer to develop the prototype. And I'd also like to do some experiments this summer to show the difference between a lawn that's synthetically fertilized compared to one that's used with compost tea, because the compost tea actually does a better job, because in the long run, the synthetic fertilizers actually dry out your lawn and foster an environment for grubs and other such pests. And then prototype building and gaining more interest, purchase orders, and then large-scale manufacturing. And that's just a rough timeline. And thank you. I'd like to open up for questions.